All right, let's get started. Hello and welcome to everybody to RIA CyberMeetUp event, which is a monthly event for those of you who are here for the first time. And I'm going to challenge my inner, what was this, Eurovision presentation there. If this is your first time at this CyberMeetUp event, why? Why is this your first time? You know, like, have you been living under a rock? So, if you have, then welcome. This is something that we do every month. And we do this for the community of cybersecurity, our cybersecurity community. And we do this in English so as to accommodate all of our guests who don't speak Estonian. We do have a great lineup for you today for our first hour. The program is great. We have people from Romania, people from the Czech Republic, of course from Estonia, and I'm actually not sure. David, where's David from? Where are you from? Zimbabwe. No, what? David's from Zimbabwe. So we have a truly international lineup here today. So this is a great way of actually demonstrating why these things need to be in an international language, and I'm happy that it is so. We're going to start up quickly, but just to give a little bit of introduction into the first presenter here. So I'm going to go back one slide. Yes. So. Every time you've been here since last March, maybe you've seen this weird little thing down here which says it's co-funded by the European Union, and then there's this ECCC thing over here. So if you've seen this, then it usually means that it's being done with European money. And we thank the ECCC for this whole money situation that we were in. But there is a reason why the European Cybersecurity Competence Center is actually called into action and put into the regulation. And we at RIA are in the middle of a project which is aimed at actually helping get the cybersecurity community together. And today we had like a project midterm review, and then we're going to continue the same way that we've done before, a little better, of course, but the same way. And so we just hope that these sorts of projects, keep on coming so that we can allow you to come together in this great little forum here and to express ideas and talk to each other as well. But to talk to you a little bit more about what the ECCC does, wants to do and will do in the future, I'm going to ask our project officer, Daniela Bularda, come up here and tell us a little bit about what is it that this acronym stands for. There you go.
Thank you very much, Lauri. That's it? Is it? Yes, yes, now it works. Thank you very much. And hello to everyone. So it's great to see activities when we manage projects. And so I will try to give an overview of the European Cybersecurity Competence Center, its work, but also the portfolio, Digital Europe program portfolio that we are dealing with. And since this is a newly established EU body, also what's coming next for us. So the center has been established by a regulation of the Council and the European Parliament in 2021 and has been operational since last year. And we aim to refer to it as the engine for the implementation of Europe's strategy in research, innovation, and industrial policy in the area of cybersecurity. We are a small team, 30 out of 38 foreseen in the establishment plan. We work in temporary offices in Bucharest, Romania, and still under the umbrella of the European Commission, more specifically DG Connect, until the center becomes financially autonomous. This financial autonomy is foreseen for later this year, as well as to move to permanent offices in the same building. So we are a small team, but quite excited that we are actually building the center, that we contribute to that. Now, the ECCC's main mission is to contribute to the competitiveness of the Union cybersecurity strategy, its technological capacities, and overall its strategic autonomy by enhancing cybersecurity capacities, capabilities, infrastructure, and knowledge. Very important as well is to promote cybersecurity resilience and to contribute, Laura already mentioned the cyber community, a strong ecosystem that brings together a wide network of relevant stakeholders. And we are doing so by implementing the strategic agenda of the center, which is actually a public document on the website of the center, and by managing funds under the Digital Europe program, later on also from Horizon Europe. Important to mention that we do not work alone, but in cooperation with the network of national coordination centers, which are quite important because they are the main contact points to engage with the national cybersecurity community, and also contact points for guidance, information about the funding opportunities. In terms of funding sources, already mentioned the two programs, Digital Europe program and Horizon Europe. So we do not assume yet Horizon Europe, clusters 3, but this will come as part of the regulation. So from the Digital Europe program, the funds that we manage, the cybersecurity part, some of these go to the NCCs, but most of the part goes to capacity building projects. And a bit for the context, cybersecurity in the Digital Europe program framework is one of the 5 key crucial areas that receive funding alongside supercomputing, artificial intelligence, advanced digital skills, and the use of digital technologies. Now, a bit more in practice of what we are doing. So to date, we have 113 ongoing projects, and these projects aim to deploy and uptake cybersecurity technologies and cybersecurity solutions in different areas to support the creation of cyber hubs, the formerly called security operation centers, but also projects and cybersecurity solutions to enforce cybersecurity resilience, cybersecurity in health, also to support member states when they implement the EU legislation on cybersecurity, and for the NCCs. All these projects account now for about 400 million euro, And in 2025, the center will manage about 700 million euro. So more projects to come. When it comes to the geographical distribution, we are quite happy about it. So here you have the list of the country allocation of the coordinators. So countries are very well, EU member states quite well represented. And we have about 500 beneficiaries in total. And as regards the type of these beneficiaries, half of them are private entities. But we also have 22% public bodies, and some less are dealing with research and technology or higher and secondary education. We are also quite happy about the fact that 39% of these entities are SMEs, which we think is quite encouraging because this shows the SMEs are at least with the Digital Europe program and procedures. And perhaps interesting for you, we'll have an upcoming call that will open for submission in July, but it will be published beforehand. So this call will support projects to further strengthen the cyber hubs, but also to develop, deploy advanced key technologies, preparedness actions, among others. We will communicate widely about this new call for proposals when the time comes. We also rely very much on the NCCs to spread the word, but overall on all cybersecurity actors. And we also aim to organize info sessions, webinars. You see the deadline will be in November, so we'll have time to inform all the interested parties about it. And in terms of next steps for the ECCC, we still have much to do ahead of us. So the center will assume full implementation of the cybersecurity objective of the DEP program. We'll also take over the part on cybersecurity from Horizon Europe. We'll have further actions in support of the Cyber Solidarity Act for the creation of the cyber alert system and cyber hubs. A bit more internally, we are currently working on drafting the work program for the next 2 years for Digital Europe program, and this is very much based on the strategic agenda that I mentioned earlier. And lastly, of course, it is crucially for the center, for its strategic objective to foster the creation of the community and to have a strong network of NCCs. So that's it from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Just a clarification, the NCCs that are mentioned often here, RIA in Estonia is playing the role of the National Coordination Center. So if anybody asks, you know, like, where is the Estonian NCC? Why aren't they doing anything? Then you can basically just ask me why am I not doing anything. But
perhaps to add that, Lauri, you are the chair of the network.
Yeah, but exactly. So why isn't RIA doing anything? So right, there is a question, one question from the audience, and then we can come back later on.
So does that mean that we can come and ask you for European funds?
Not just me. So, but let me answer this in the first part of this. All of your organizations can apply for funds in the Digital Europe calls. The strategic agenda sets out some goals, you know, like strategic things, but the work program and the calls that are upcoming, those, you know, specify which funds to apply. For example, there is this development of key technology, advanced key technologies, and you, with your organization, can say, hey, we have these key technologies that we want to deploy and develop. and we would like to get like a million billion euros for this. There's obviously not a million billion, but we would like to get like 2 mil. And then this has conditions. It has an SM, you know, if you're a small or medium, then you have to provide 25% of self-financing, all those kinds of little things. So everything like that is in the funding and tenders portal. And you can come to me and our team so that we can actually assist you in how to navigate this whole tree. Did I get it right?
Yes, very. Perhaps just to add that it's very important every time to read carefully the call document because sometimes the eligibility criteria may be different. That's why usually we publish the calls, and after some time we open them for submission. During this time, the interested stakeholders, they try to find other partners in order to build consortia. So they put together ideas and they already start to work for their application. So, but the call document, it's like the Bible for each application.
So altogether about like 200 million euros per year gets distributed, you know, will be distributed now, and then there will be another one soon. You can ask your question later in the networking part. Thank you, Daniela, one more time. We gotta go on with our presentations. There will be plenty of time to discuss. Next up, we have friends from the Czech Republic who will go into this whole question about cryptography. Antonin, right? And Jan will be back to back here. Come on up here and tell us what is this project they are doing and why and where and all those things.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so good evening, everyone. My name is Antonin Dufka. Thanks. My name is Antonin Dufka. I'm a PhD student at the Center for Research on Cryptography and Security at Masaryk University in Brno, Czech Republic. And I am here together with my colleague, Kvapil, who will talk a few minutes after me. Together, we are involved with the CHESS project, which is a project for cooperation between Estonia and South Moravia. And as a part of this project, we are here today to present you a tool that we are developing for demonstration of threshold cryptography. So here in Estonia, you have a number of companies that are working on the technology of threshold cryptography. So I expect you are somewhat, you could be somewhat familiar with the technology. So I will just quickly describe that you can think of it as some technology for distributing some critical security operations. It works in a way that usually you would have a single key, private key that you would use for signing, like ECCC private key, stored on a single computer. But with threshold cryptography, you can have the key split into multiple parts of the key that you can store on different devices, and then have these devices communicate with each other using some interactive protocol whose result can look as if it was made with the full key, but during this process you didn't need to reconstruct the key in a single place. This way, the technology is able to eliminate single point of failure, and since the output of the computation can be indistinguishable from single-party output, it can serve as a drop-in replacement for standard single-party operations. So with these nice security properties and in theory easy backward compatibility with existing applications, you could think that using threshold protocols in existing applications should be quite easy. But in reality, if you were to try using threshold protocols with the applications that you are normally using, you would encounter a lot of, I would say, engineering issues. You would encounter problems with the network communication. You somehow need to be able to coordinate the protocol. You need to integrate the outputs with your applications. And typically you would like to use the protocols with different kinds of devices. So you need things like multi-platform support. So all of this combined can be quite tedious, and that is something that we are trying to simplify. We, for almost 3 years, have been developing this platform for the demonstration of threshold cryptography that we call MeeSign. It is not intended to be any production product, but instead just a tool for the demonstrations what threshold cryptography offers. We provide this user-friendly client application that is multi-platform. We support most major platforms, and the application itself performs the threshold protocols and stores the necessary secret information. To simplify the network communication, we implemented a semi-trusted intermediating server that you can deploy by yourself, and this server facilitates peer discovery, it coordinates the protocol, and it is an interface by which you can send some operation requests to particular devices that are connected to the server. Currently, the platform supports a number of features. We support protocol for distributed key generation. We support standard signing algorithms like ECDSA, Schnorr signatures or EDDSA, and RSA. And we also support decryption using LGML. Beyond that, we support a number of more advanced threshold features like share weighting, where you can, for example, have one of the parties have higher voting rights in the protocol. You can have various policy-based automated parties. And to increase the security further, we also implemented smart card support. So you can have the, for one instance of the protocol, you can run it on a smart card and tap the smart card to your smartphone when you want to perform the protocol. If you want to run protocols, you can do so directly from the application. It provides interface using which you can request signing or decryption from some group of parties. The parties can then inspect the received request and decide if they want to approve or decline it. And then, based on their decision, if enough parties agrees with the operation, it starts being executed and the result is output. Now, if you want to use something like this with your applications that you use, for example, normally for signing, you need to somehow get the result of the protocol into the application. And that can be done in two ways. One way is to modify the source code of the application that you are using, which we have, or one of our colleagues did for the Nextcloud platform. But a more practical way is if your application already relies on some interface by which it can communicate with standard crypto, for example, hardware tokens like smart cards, YubiKey tokens, or something like that. We can hook on this interface, and basically by running some virtual tokens, you can delegate requests to the threshold platform without needing to do any source code modifications. This is something that my colleague Jan was working on. He was using one of these interfaces to improve security of the X-Road system, and he will tell you more about it. So, word to you, Jan.
Awesome, thanks a lot, Antonin. I will present joint work with a few guys and gals from University of Tartu, from Estonia. So this is also part of the chess project that Tonda mentioned. It's collaboration with Maria Baktina, Raimundas Matulevičius, and my supervisor, Peeter Švenda. And it resulted in a publication called The Power of Many that will be presented in a couple of weeks at the Kaisa conference. If you are by any chance coming, feel free to join us at the session. The core idea is to use the threshold signatures that Antonin was presenting to enforce custom policies, signing policies in various information systems. In particular, as a use case, we used the X-Road system. I think you are familiar with this system because it's here in Estonia for maybe more than two decades. So I suppose you know actually more than I about X-Road. The way you can think about it, or the way I think about it, is it's a data exchange layer between various companies, national institutions, and sort of it serves as a digitally signed tunnel for REST or SOAP API calls, so messaging between the various parties. And there are some security requirements. We want, of course, the messages to be authentic and integral, so no one messes with the messages when they are in transit. So we can have some kind of client, hospital that interacts with another party, some kind of a national agency. When we look more underneath the architecture, there is more entities at play. So both the hospital and the National Health Agency interconnect through some so-called security servers. And these security servers are the usually actually the entities that hold the secret key material and provide the digital signatures. And so if anything happens to these security servers, either they get compromised or the admins go malicious, they can actually sign whatever messages they wish, at least conceptually, the way we think about it from the cryptographic modeling perspective. And so we sort of want to mitigate this problem. And the way we did it is introducing threshold signatures. And so we split the key material, and now it's not just on the side of the security server, but it's also back on the side of the, let's say, hospital on the left. And so we have some kind of coordinator. We used MeeSign application for that, and we can have various signers, and we can do threshold like 3 out of 3. And now 2 parties on the side of the hospital have to collaborate, and also 1 party on the side of the security server. And only then the messages get signed, and only then the messages are considered verified and authentic. This way we also can introduce custom signing policies, and so the hospital with full backwards compatibility through interfacing with the PKCS 11, they can have like time-based policies signing only during work hours or something like that. We also try to benchmark the solutions against the various other tokens that the security servers can use, and sort of the baseline is a soft token, so it's literally just in-memory tokens. So the round trip of the messages going back and forth is 80 milliseconds. If you use more secure devices, hardware tokens like YubiKey or TPM, it's roughly slower by an order of magnitude, and our work with MeeSign is in the same ballpark. However, we also introduce some kind of network delay because the messages between the group have to pass through. However, this could at least be worked on by message pre-signing, so there are some technical ways how to work around this. And with that, thanks a lot for your attention. If you are more interested, in a week, next Thursday, we will be having a 4-hour or 3-hour workshop at the University of Tartu. You are all welcome to come to join to talk to us if you want to know more details, but it will be at the university premises. If you have more questions afterwards, you can mail us. And if you have any questions right now, feel free to ask. Thanks.
All right, thank you very much for this presentation. So I understand your call to action is come to Tartu and come to Tartu and take part of this workshop and then learn how to do this on your own.
Yeah, so within these 10 minutes, we could only present what's possible with threshold signatures, but if you want to get like real hands-on experience with MeeSign and learn more about the technical details, you can come to Tartu. If you are playing around with threshold signatures, you can just use MeeSign. It's open source. We can give you a GitHub link, or if you just search for MeeSign, you will find a website with all the documentation needed to set it up yourself and play around to demonstrate the protocols maybe to your group of peers.
Yes, and just if I understand correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, the threshold cryptography solution, the open source solution that you are talking about here, is similar to an Estonian smart ID solution, which is only just one part of this is on your phone, but then has to work together with other parts to make an entire key. Is that correct, right?
Mm-hmm. Do you want to take this one?
Yeah, but we support even more, I would say, general scenarios. As far as I know, split ID uses just 2 out of 2 setup, and we support more generic setups where not all parties need to participate in the protocol. We can do things like 3 out of 5 parties need to be involved in the protocol to finish it successfully, and we have also the other features where we can share. increase the number of shares that are controlled by one party.
So maybe you can imagine if you had like 2 out of 4 scenario, there would be someone higher up, some CEO having 2 shares, and so he could sign on his own, or another employee would have 1 more share, and there would be automated signer who would sign maybe during only work hours. And so the employee together with the automated signer could produce a signature only during the work hours, or the CEO could sign whenever. Of course, with every setup there might be some caveats, etc., but it's, as Tonda said, it's more general than that.
Mm-hmm. There's always there's probably a use case which is very specific to an organization, to a security system. The hospital is a good example of there are some things that need to be signed automatically as well, and then have a person sign on to them a little bit later on as well. Right, do we have time for one question from the audience as well? There is a question back there.
Thank you. You say there is basically the solution has no single point of failure, but then you mentioned there is a server with a quasi-trusted server or something. So how you cope with that?
Yes, so the server is trusted only with introducing the clients to each other, but this is a problem that can be circumvented by other ways. You can, for example, establish a secure channel between the involved parties by direct communication via some secondary secure channel, and then the server does not need to be trusted at all.
All right, you have time to discuss this later on over drinks, and thank you one more time.
Thank you.
And you also have time to discuss this in Tartu on, what was it, the 23rd? 23rd, right. And you just go and visit and ask them when it's going to be. All right. We shall continue because, this will not, hinder our event. I want to invite up Tiina from our team, who could tell us a little bit about a very short pitch about an invitation to a youth camp. I mean, it's not for you because you're not that young, but it's for maybe your friends or daughters or so. Go on.
Hi, my name is Tiina. I actually might have a surprise for you because maybe I want to see you in the camp as well. So yeah, I'm here for the topic that I have been here for 2 times already. So if somebody has seen me, some of the things will be the same, some of the things will be new. So as last year, this year we will make this youth camp as well. Maybe we'll get the next slide. Oh, I have a clicker. Oh. Sorry. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, again, this summer we are making a cybersecurity camp for girls who are 13 to 16 years old to introduce them cybersecurity on a hands-on way so that they can actually, on the first day we are showing them what is Linux, and then they will try next days to get into the other computers from there and scan network and do other things that some of you are doing every day. And the main reason why we are doing this is to get more girls interested in cybersecurity so that in the next 5-10 years we will have more workforce here in Estonia, because some of you who are maybe trying to look for new people to hire, you know the struggle, and the struggle will not ease soon. So if you know somebody who might be interested of this, the camp takes place on 29th of July till 3rd of August in Kehtna. Feel free to share the link. Registration will be open next week. So if you're afraid that you will forget this information, just write me and I can send you an update that now the registration is open. Yes, and the other thing that is actually for you is that during this camp we want to make a community afternoon. Basically, we want to show all the participants what are the people doing in cybersecurity who are the people in the cybersecurity. Last year, you can see we had some really awesome speakers. Some of you know them really well, and some of you are working with them daily basis. This year, we want to make it like a really more of a community kind of thing, where we would have experts, and the participants will divide into tables, and they would have a chance to actually chat with people in cybersecurity and ask questions, what they want to know, and etc. So if you feel like this is something you personally want to do, or you feel like your company where you are working might be interested of it, please let me know, and maybe we will see in August in Kehtna.
All right. Thank you very much. We're not going to take questions right now. Tiina will be available here to discuss later on. And this community, like if your organization wants to show girls how to make money in cybersecurity, then that's basically a good way to show that what the career could be like, right? Right. So, yeah. So let's continue. David, tell us, what is this open cyber range that everybody keeps talking about?
Hi. Yeah. Okay. We're up. So yes. Hi. My name's David. David Winter. I come from Zimbabwe, with probably the best climate in the world. But my last name magnetically drew me to this wonderful winter here in Estonia. Anyway, that aside, I'm here to talk to you about the open cyber range, which we've got at CR14, where I work. And it's for you, for free, and for real. So what is it, the OCR? The OCR is a cybersecurity and defense proving ground and new tech incubator. Basically, it's a software platform, data center infrastructure. Essentially, we offer some compute resource, network, and storage for clever people to do clever things, hopefully like yourselves. It also comes along with humans, myself included. There are 3 of us currently that work on this full time for the Open Cyber Range, dedicated. And working for CR14, there are obviously a number of other people that support us to do what we need to do. We've got a lot of experience doing this kind of stuff, managing data centers. I've already seen somebody with a Locked Shields t-shirt at the back there, so some people here know exactly who we are and what we do. We are based here in the heart of Tallinn. I speak a little bit of Estonian, having been here a couple of years. But yes, I'm probably the only foreigner, so if anybody is worried about speaking English, then yeah, plenty of Estonians to speak to. For whom? So the OCR is definitely for you guys. Are you a fit for the OCR at CR14? So there's a nice list there of people that we think are eligible for the Open Cyber Range, rather. That's not an exhaustive list. Essentially, the message we're trying to get across today is that we've got some cool toys. If you guys want to come and play, please feel free to come and talk to us. Specifically, we're talking to startups, SMEs, which is our priority, I guess, for Q2. But even people like large corporations. A lot of guys have been interested in the OCR. You know, if you work for a bank or something, to get permission to do some cool stuff, interesting stuff that's a bit out of the box. Getting permission to do this kind of stuff probably is quite difficult to do. The OCR is freely available for you to come and play. And yeah, the bottom one is probably the most interesting. Any others, please just come and speak to us. At the end, there'll be an email address where you guys can talk to us, and obviously I'll be here this evening. For free, yes, it is for free. There are no gotchas here, thankfully. So yes, we're a data center infrastructure with the compute resource, networking and storage. I'll go through some details. I don't know how technical everybody is, so I'll just go through some numbers. Compute resource, we've got 1,600 vCPUs. We've got a whole bunch of 10 gig, 100 gig switches, and we've got many terabytes of storage to share for people to do their stuff. We offer a software platform which would be a bit more niche, specifically targeted towards cyber exercises. We've developed our own language with this, the scenario definition language mentioned there. And Ranger and Deputy are infrastructure servers that enable the SDL to do what it needs to do. We have a couple of things that we're offering today, some standard setups, but please don't feel that we're limited to the standard setups. We're friendly guys, so come and have a chat with us. I'll go through some details about how it's for free, why it's for free. Probably not of too much interest to you guys, so I'll keep it brief. Essentially, we got some money from Norway to build this project, to put together some hardware for I think it was about €500,000 worth of hardware we put in. And we were given some guidelines, I guess, or a direction of travel that we wanted to go to, the purpose of this grant money. So new technology testing and development, cyber exercises platform, which we have already done. We've had a couple of exercises running on it. And the equipment must be kept in intended use for at least 5 years. So it's not going to be you guys come in and we turn it all off for you tomorrow. The mission for the OCR, I've said it before, cybersecurity and defense proving ground, new technology incubator. Not a for-profit endeavor for us, so we're not looking to make money off of this, but it doesn't mean that you guys using the OCR can't be for profit. That's quite interesting as well. And good ideas deserve a means for validation. So essentially, if you've got a good idea, but you're not sure if it's going to be a money spinner or perhaps not going to be a money spinner at all, but you still want to have a go at the idea, we're still available to do that with you. Support, so if you were to use the OCR, you'd get some support from myself and a couple of other colleagues. At the moment, it's all best efforts and, strictly speaking, 9 to 5 working hours. I've got 2 kids, so I need to get home. Financing, we're part of the CR14 budget. We have some grants, MKM, Estonians will know what that is, but for non-Estonians, that's the Ministry of Economics and Communications, I'm told. NATO Diana projects are also funded to use the OCR. I was told the acronym is on the end there, Defense Innovation Accelerator for the North Atlantic. There you go, so yeah, sponsored by NATO as well. And now we can talk about the offer paths or the offers that we can give you guys or that we have pre-packaged. So the first offer is the technology development support. A very basic offer with computer networking resource for free, pre-packaged config. This includes a couple of servers. There's some detail on that in a minute. We can do some more tailored solutions. Obviously, come and talk to us. We can have a chat about it. Most of the stuff that we're offering, well, in fact, all the stuff we're offering for free that isn't our infrastructure software is open source stuff. That's what we focused on so far. The second thing is cyber exercises and trainings. Again, the computer networking resources for free, and the cyber range sandbox. We do offer some scenario consultation and additional services, which would be open for conversation. The OCR offering is guided by its grant terms, agreements, blah, 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 all the legalese at the bottom there. So the actual offers. So standard offer A, we've had varying interest in this. So offer A, we offer Gitty, which is just an open source Git server. A lot of people have their own GitHub accounts and whatever, so aren't particularly interested in that. We've got PenPot, an open source design tool. I don't know how much of you guys are going to be interested in this, but a lot of people perhaps recognize Figma, but this would be an on-prem solution. And VMs for development. Offer B is all of that plus we'd give you a resource quota where you could do what you want to do with it. So if you've got a big beefy machine that you need to run through some AI calculations or anything like that, we could give you the resource and you guys do with it as you wish. Complementary additional offers, in-memory VMs. I use one of the VPNs for Netflix if you want to get around the territory locks, and they use these in-memory VMs where nothing's logged. So the VM exists in memory. When it's shut down, it disappears, and nobody knows anything that happened in there. A couple of other things: technical help, human, that would be me. Technical help with the hardware, we can offer some of that. The bottom one is a little bit interesting. You'll see a bit more of that next week at Latitude, those of you who are coming. But because we have a whole facility, not just a data center, if you have a hardware device that you want to attach or do something with, we can attach that to the OCR. Talking about the stuff that we've developed as part of the grant with Norway and EIS is the scenario definition language for these cyber exercises that allows us to essentially automate a full, even multi-day exercise in script form and sit back and have a cup of coffee while it all happens with all the necessary injects, infrastructure deployment, and all the rest of it. Ranger is the brains behind it that will interpret the language and do what we want to do. And Deputy is just a library, just an artifact library. If you are interested and you want to get in touch with us and get to use the OCR, where to reach us, there's the email address, ocr@cr14.ee. We'd like a couple of details from you just to start the conversation: who you are, what you do, where you're from, and what your interest is, what exactly you'd like to do with the OCR. There's a little bit of a process that happens afterwards where there'd be a review, an MOU, T's and C's to be agreed, and then we could get on with the cool onboarding and getting you connected. When can it start? We can start right now. We're doing it already. We've got, I think we've got about 8 startups connected at the moment, or at least in conversations to get connected, and a few more getting further down the line at the moment as well. Standard commitment for resource is 4 calendar months. Obviously, we're not giving it away for a long time. You know, there'll be other guys that we want to get through and get ideas moving along. That's not to say that 4 months is your limit, but at least the initial agreement would be for 4 months. And the technical onboarding setup time, which is my job, basically starts from less than a day. And that's it. That's all I've got to say.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. In the interest of time, I'm not going to get questions from the audience. Are you sticking around?
I am, yeah.
So find him, ask him, let him on board. No, you're not.
On board?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, do that.
Make the onboarding start already. If he says today, then you can start the process today already.
Indeed.
All right, thank you very much again. And for the final presentation for today, we have an ongoing segment or a recurring segment in this cybersecurity cyber meetup event, which we call the threat landscape. Sometimes people from RIA talk about this, sometimes people from the private sector, and sometimes the police. And this is the time when the police is here. So take it away, the threat landscape, what's going on, and what have you been up to?
Okay, let's start, and also it's kind of like in a way coming out of the closet for me, because I've been previously not telling where I'm working currently. So I'm in something like also with letters and numbers. So there has been the ECCC, so it's EC3, and we are C3.ee, and there has been CR14, so we are kind of like one family. So I'm working for Estonian Police and Border Guard Board, National Cyber Police, Cybercrime Center or Bureau in the Intel Group, dealing with all kinds of nice cybercrime. Okay, not nice, but it's, let's say, that's a very interesting job at least. Oh, and the topic is kind of like related to some things. I've been talking to people on previous RIA meetups. I think there was a certain guy from a certain ministry who said that we need to talk more about how things happen so everybody can learn from that. I totally agree, and I hope we can help with that in the future. I was talking with another person who might be present about the question of more advanced phishing tests and trainings and so on. So it's kind of like coming from that side as well. So what we are doing, we are gathering intel. Information from past cases, a lot of information from open source. There is tons of data on the internet when you know where to look from, especially when you speak a bit Boruski and can use Telegram and other things. We do build some and have some really cool tooling for ingesting and dealing with Intel and also doing the analysis part. So usually we are kind of like running in this circle and then we investigate what we have and then usually comes up more things and it goes in circles. Sometimes we find some shady guys who might need more of our attention, and sometimes just some cases come in from the door, so something has been happening, so there is a criminal case opened, and we again go into the same circle, becoming more smart and more smart over the time. Unfortunately, bad guys are probably doing the same cycle, but we still try to keep ahead of them. We are not going to talk about our tools and intel we have too much for obvious reasons, but when I asked before joining that how we are going to work, I was pointed towards a couple of things, like do read Brian Krebs. He does very nice investigations and his deliverable is blog post. Or the Bellingcat, again, very cool thing. And if you want to have faster speed and more kind of like youngish thing than 404 media from journalists, I think from Vice is also a really cool media channel to learn. But about our deliverables, we try to find actors with influence on cybercriminal markets, so maybe we are not going into all of the pickpockets, but kind of like trying to cut off the tool chain for pickpockets. Investigate, if possible, sanction, put into jail. Unfortunately, a lot of people are from countries where we can't very easily agree with the local dictators to jail them or hand them over, so we know who they are, but we hope when they happen to come to the countries where something can happen to them. But there is a bunch of things where we see that actually we can act together. It's especially the side of disrupting their act. For example, we are thinking a lot. We are seeing a lot of different kind of phishing attacks. I know third-party is doing a lot to communicate with banks to kind of like take them down faster. There are talks with telcos to get rid of different kind of SMS spam and things. This is detectable. Other countries where the same operators are working are already doing that. So this is outside of the police work. Minimize the return of investment. So basically, the faster we take down their phishing sites and malicious taken over servers, the less they can earn, the less they are interested in using Estonian resources, and also preventing all kinds of harm. Now, speaking about harm, I asked for one slide from RIA side also, which is has been on all of these kind of presentations, and which shows the incident report count for past month, and seems it has been kind of like going up in a pretty notable way. Maybe the April is just missing some reports. I don't think that kind of like the guys just after March thought that, okay, no need to deal with Estonia. Or maybe some work that the CERT is doing is helping that. But the scary things, kind of like looking where the graph is going up and up and up. If you like scary things, I think in Haapsalu there is a film festival for scary movies, so go there. If not, then let's try to see what is behind the actually kind of like notable things that have been happening in past maybe half a year. The case of Apotheka, the shutting down of LabHost, and also another data leak case, which I think was the largest one before the Apotheka happened. So we've kind of like been beating the record over a couple of months. So I don't think this is actually a cool thing. Cyber criminals stole data of over 700,000 Apotheca clients, but have we actually kind of been able to read how that did happen? And now, being on the police side, I kind of like don't like to tell too much, but often there are people participating on press conferences and giving interviews, and you can pick actually all of the information out of that. So I decided to do a bit like Sherlock Holmes, deductive or inductive reasoning, and see, can we actually find from press releases the actual information from between everything. So there's the story from that happening, and going through all of the sound bites from different people, I especially liked some from Veiko Rasuke of CERT. So there has been mentioning, I think not from Veiko, but somewhere else, that there was a backup copy of a database. There's a takeover of an employee's user account. And he advises using two-factor authentication. And okay, some other cool things as well. So what can we kind of like start thinking how this thing could have happened? Is the question about two-factor authentication on the client side of the client card system? Probably not. 700,000 clients don't leak like because there is no two-factor authentication on the client side. Improbable. Maybe we need this two-factor authentication and VPN for admin users who are kind of like dealing with the customer list and doing whatever they're doing. Well, theoretically, maybe it could be possible to download CSV file or kind of browse through the pages and just capture the data, but database backup. How could actually admin of loyalty system get the database backup from its server? It should be impossible. There is actually one very simple way. Every system where people are used in, if they can upload something, it can often end in remote code execution, and then you probably can get also the database files and everything else. But this wasn't the case this time. We are often, by starting thinking from the client side up, forgetting the part of all of the infrastructure around our systems, like how we actually manage hosting, domain, DNS platform, and so on. I have been over years reading news about DNSs of big companies taken over. Oh, is there yet another vulnerability in DNS system? No, just their whatever domain registration account was just taken over and DNSs were redirected, and very simple. Again, basically phishing, no 2FA, and very simple things. So we can imagine that just my own account, my own technocrat.net, my servers on DigitalOcean. I'm logging in with Google. So basically there is somewhere also some kind of Google organization of my company. So who's managing that? I've seen cases where these are actually managed by project managers or HR people or something like that. Not the system administrators who might be most secure, but people who are busy with a lot of different parts like HR, what they are doing. Happiness engineers for employees, probably. It could be happiness engineers for bad guys as well. Or in the zone where I have actually the domain registration. So it's possible to come here and send my DNS servers elsewhere, or basically I can get into all of the server management if my server is there. So basically one place where I need to have two-factor authentication. So whenever you are having these kind of systems, please do make sure that they have two-factor authentications. I happened to work in Zone some years ago, and I had a really hard time telling government clients to implement 2FA. And they, we don't know, we need to have an agreement that Chancellor needs to sign something or whatever. No, find a way, because otherwise bad things are going to happen to you. So, lessons learned. Think always about the full chain of identity in your systems. Usually the bad guys are going to find the easiest way in, not the most difficult one. evaluate all of the risk and attack paths and craft protections for them. And think about, there's a question about privileged access management. Sysadmins are probably the most powerful people. Developers are less, and then there is somewhere maybe the office assistant. Turns out, real life is often the other way around. So the office assistant who has access because he or she needs to get the invoices and things might have access to places he or she does not need to have. Now, the question of phishing two-factor authentication. There was an operation to take down something called LabHost platform, which was one of the kind of like maybe best integrated phishing platforms in the world. And it's also very cool to see Estonian police in front of kind of like Department of Justice and Secret Service and everything. So, and I must say, this was not central national criminal police, but Northern Prefecture. So we have other people in addition to C3 doing really great work. And one thing I especially like about this case is this video, which is on the Facebook page of Estonian Police and Border Guard Board, and also in several media outlets, which shows two screens side by side, the victim view and how the control panel is working from the side of criminal. To find it from Facebook and watch, I think it's a very instructional thing. If you want to read more, then Group IB has very cool write-up of the thing and describes all of the components. So this isn't just this phishing platform where you can kind of like have phishing pages and see what users are doing. There is also credit card shop. So if you catch some information, you can instantly put it on sales. People can pay you. There is a platform for SMS and MMS spam, and Telegram channels for kind of like educational material where you are told how to actually monetize whatever you have stolen from there. So kind of like very complex picture, no time to go over that here, but it just Group IB. I think their write-up is what I like the most. Oh, and they have also prices. So kind of like the 3-level pricing model, absolutely cool. So basically for like $200 per month, you can become a good criminal, a bad criminal. And we'll be reading about the statistics about number of people going to jail will be your contribution also. So I can probably say everything is safe now. Or is it? Maybe it wasn't the only phishing platform available. Maybe we can actually currently see the Telegram channels of other actors who are changing their business model and kind of like working hard to get the clientele from this platform to their side. So we must think about the side of what these platforms are making possible. Especially one word, if you looked at the video, there was also the picture of the PIN calculator. So it was how to do the phishing using multi-factor authentication and additional signing of payments and so on. Most modern phishing platforms support, it used to be man in the middle, currently it's more neutrally actor in the middle. Could be AI also in the middle, who knows? And the question is that do your two-factor authentication login mechanism actually block or at least hinder actor in the middle attacks? Can you detect them? And do you train your people to trust, or do you still train people that two-factor authentication is safe? So don't think about problems. You need to think about problems as well. So let's integrate that into testing and training. How difficult could that be? Fortunately, we have a lot of dual-use tools. There are like Cobalt strikes and things like these, and there are also tools for phishing side. So, and they are not kind of like invented yesterday. So Evilginx has been from, I think, 2017, Modlishka 2019, and there's more of them. But I like the colorful Evilginx way more. Basically, what's behind the name, it used to be Nginx as proxy, and kind of like using web proxying to actor in the middle attacks. So there are other cool tools. One is called GoFish. This is a tool if you want to make phishing trainings in your company. You can create phishing emails, landing pages, capture data, send out the emails, have nice dashboards, who opened, who kind of like entered data, and kind of like repeat it without paying a lot of money. One of my colleagues in my past work in Vaimo implemented that for us, and it was awesome. Evilginx 3.3 that came out in April has GoFish integration. So you can now do the actor in the middle two-factor phishing also using the GoFish. So if you have been using GoFish, the GoFish just got the rocket engine or whatever, fangs. So let's try it. We need to have something to fish. And fortunately, in Estonia, we have something called TARA, which is the government's secure single sign-on solution, which nicely on the web page tells it's for demonstration and testing purposes, so it must be completely legal for me to try it and test it. So, what I have is a simple VPS droplet in DigitalOcean. I have a very simple configuration file, which basically just tells that I'm trying to do phishing on public sector Tara demo client, some subdomains, which cookies to capture, which values to capture, and so on. And I have also, it comes with a package, Cloudflare Turnstile. So people, if security kind of like antivirus product goes to this URL to check the email, he will just see the Cloudflare's captcha, nothing else. So helps keeping the sites up longer. So demo time. Can we roll a video? So this is the guy behind the tool, and this is my console. I'm launching the Evilginx, and now I'm actually, for speeding up, I'm copying the configurations from another screen. So I configure a domain, just a random domain I have. I give IP address, so it acts as DNS server and everything. Adding this fishlet, it's also creating automatically TLS certificates. So everything runs on HTTPS. I have here a lure URL. I add also this Cloudflare protection. So I get the URL. I could have also create personalized URLs for every people and so on. So, and now I navigate. You see, it does the Cloudflare test. I go to login. On Tara test, I can use a smart ID with predefined test personal code. We see here, username and password have been captured. Okay, it wanted to capture password, so I'm capturing just the cross-site reference token, but here is the personal code of the user. It's waiting for smart ID to answer. And yeah, we got in. Now I'm having sessions. I see I've captured one session. I list the session. Oh, sorry. Number one. So here's a cookie. I go and open the cookie edit. Okay, let's go to the site and see that I'm not logged in. Public sector, yes. Yeah, press enter. Okay. So cookie. I just import the cookies, paste, import, and reload the page. Baba, I'm in. Over two-factor authentication and using very secure methods of everything. So can we get the slide deck back? So can you do that? I just kind of like woke up today at something like 5 a.m. and I had it ready by 7 a.m. for going to work, so very easy. So it's relatively easy. Actual detection protection is perhaps not that easy. And I know I'm slightly over time. So I'm going very quickly over another case which happened and which wasn't phishing, and which was especially notable because I tried to find the pieces about what happened from the articles today, and it was very difficult. I came to articles which actually did describe that the criminals started looking for a way to gain access. From September, they somehow got access to usernames and encrypted passwords, hashed is the correct word, but okay. And November 1st, like I don't know, more than a month later, did the actual data exfil. So perhaps they did the hash breaking, brute forcing during that. And as a result of that, the head of Data Protection Inspectorate tells that the board member does not understand data protection. So this is what happens if you are not clear and open about what happened to you and trying to kind of like shade things. And you are going to see headlines like that. Not going over that, just I can show you later how it all works. Just doing my very low-level pen testing thing on this site. So I go over and see that, there are some requests that have a lot of parameters. Looks like that. So what would anybody with any experience in pen testing or web application security do? Well, adding something like drop table students or whatever is the usual thing. So I tried to try the actual SQL injection. I might or might not have seen exactly that in the actual log files, but okay. So the thing I hadn't seen before, okay, so I probably saw something in log files, is using of the SQL map. A lot of people are doing like, okay, the name of my database is very secret, so we are protected. The WordPress is not vp dot something, but something kind of like random dot something. Turns out there are tools like SQL map. I can have it find it, and it can also instantly exfiltrate the database schema, so it knows all of the tables and field names in my database. So basically, after 10 minutes, they started downloading the usernames and passwords because they had exfiltrated the database schema. So, yeah, and then they took some time to brute force, and the rest is history. So, lessons learned. Make sure you always know instantly what's leaked. Communicate it. It is also something that Data Protection Inspectorate always wants. The first thing, do you know what you are doing? How many records leaked? What was leaked? If you tell that you don't know, then it's a problem. And communicate and have elementary protections like WAF. This would have not happened if the site would have been behind Cloudflare, just because the elementary SQL injections would not have come through, they would not have found the problems. And maintain your apps. If the apps looks ancient, it most probably is ancient. Thank you.
Right, that was like a mic drop, like boom, yeah, thank you, that's right. Peter's going to hang out here for a little while, and so you can ask him questions and maybe ask for the video or the slides if you need them. Then sometimes he's generous and
yeah, and we can just also probably, if you want to have phishing of your target, then we can see if we can have a couple of peers and configure it also for your site, your system or whatever.
So thank you very much again, Peter. Give him another round of applause. I'm not going to do questions from the stage right now. We are slightly over time, and people are thirsty and hungry. So let's wrap this up. And thank you to all the presenters today. We conclude this program part of the event for those of you who are observing us from online and on demand. The next time we're going to meet here is in June. Wait, what was it? 13th, right? June 13th should be a Thursday. And then after that, we'll go on a summer break. So next month in June will be the last one before a couple of months of summer break, because I know that you're not going to come here in July. I know it. I just know that. So thank you again. Have a good night. And beer's there.